This episode of Total Drama Reviews contains clips from Total Drama Action. I do not own Total Drama Action. All rights go to FreshTV. Remember to be civil and do not be me in the comments. Seriously, it can get really messed up. Carpe diem, my name is Ultranatic, and this is Total Drama Reviews. This is where I, as a lover of animation and reality shows, look over the show and combine them together the best. And the episode we're tackling today is $1 Million Babies. Wait. And we're looking at the prehistoric genre tackling episode 1 Million Bucks BC. I'm noticing a theme here. Speaking of, the one we're paying tribute to here is sports movies. Thank goodness we're tackling a genre I'm familiar with for once. Heck, I've actually seen the film the title is referencing. I recommend it, it's really good. But for those who haven't seen a single sports film in their life, like, seriously? None? Nothing wrong with that, but really? I digress. It's the film about a person or a group of people on a team playing a sport, normally in some big competition, and having to face really jerky rivals while not being the most skilled themselves. But through perseverance and heart, they find a way for the nice guys to finish first. So naturally, this episode should be able to execute that genre flawlessly. Heck, oftentimes reality show winners are the underdog of their season. So will this episode be a titan worth remembering, or the next United Passions? Well, put your hands in the center. Go team after 3. 1, 2, 3. Go team! This is $1 Million Babies. We open with the characters being woken up by a horn.
I can't take the shelling anymore, Sarge.
Probably should have used that in the military episode, but patience, will miss my genre shortly anyways.
Harold, if you added trumpets to your snoring, it's definitely time for you to die.
That's it. I'm moving to Canada. Except I'm already there.
Huh?
That's it. I'm moving to Canada. Except I'm already there.
Huh?
That's it. I'm moving to Canada. Except I'm already there.
Huh? That joke absolutely baffles me. He's joking about moving to Canada despite being both in Canada and from Canada?
That's it. I'm moving to Canada. Except I'm already there.
Okay, now that's not really a joke, is it? You see, because it makes no sense.
We then see Beth waking up, sleep twirling Courtney's PDA.
I must have started sleep twirling again. That PDA is my legal right in this game. Touch it again, Beth, and prepare to be served.
Well, ignoring the obvious tennis reference, I think I'll briefly go over this additional advantage of Courtney's and why I hate it. Ironically, it's not because it gives yet another leg up for Courtney or anything. I think I can look past that now. It's because PDA doesn't stand for what you think it stands for. You'd think it stands for Personal Digital Assistant, right?
The contestants hereafter referred to as Courtney may retain a personal digital assistant, aka her PDA.
But nope, it stands for Plot Device Apparent, because this is a very apparent plot device.
What? That's so not fair.
Courtney's PDA is the direct cause of 2 eliminations this season. Well, technically 1.5. The 1 will come in a later episode, and the half is kinda shown here, but trust me, we'll get to that.
Morning, sports fans! Today, you're all going to give 200% in our exciting sports movie challenge. We've got a training run.
We then get a quick montage of mini challenges for the teams to train for. And remember what I said earlier about mismatching genres? Well, here we get not 1, but 2 references to previous movie themes. We get the teams crawling under barbed wire through mud, which comes from the war movie genre, like you do, as well as that wig that Heather continues to wear from the prehistoric movie challenge. You know that's only gonna weigh you down, right? I'm pretty sure that salmonella beehive is heavier than you are, Heather.
That truly bit.
Who won anyway?
Let's see. 3, carry the 5. Nobody! It was just to establish who's playing who for the real contest to follow.
I'd call this pointless, except it's not. This same technique for a fake-out challenge was done in The Big Sleep, although there it was only done to tire the teams out. But here, while it does that too, it's also for figuring out who the best pairings to go against each other in the official challenges would be.
We're running 4 Sporto contests with competitors seated according to these results.
Seated? There's a gardening challenge? Okay, so he meant like sports seating.
I give a thumbs up to that. Along with this hilarious, unintentional double entendre from Lindsay.
If there was a gardening challenge, I would seriously kick butt. I mean, nobody can even touch my tomatoes.
Okay, come in, Beavis and Butthead. I can't help but it's so childish that it wasn't even the first boob-based joke we got this episode.
Get your poppin' hot spaghetti here!
I'd ask what the reason is for giving so many breast-based jokes to Harold, but that's a stupid question. And speaking of both Harold and Lindsay, they're the first matchup due to being the weakest players on their team.
Why me? Because you and Lindsay came in last in the football drills. Loser versus loser.
Bullshit! Bullshit!
Yeah, I don't care if these two are most likely to lose in an arm wrestling match. Both have been overall the strongest people on their team, so yeah, what he said. Whatever, it ends up with these two competing in marshmallow boxing. I won't lie, I totally watched that. No, I mean their boxing gloves are made of marshmallow.
Props, so you don't hurt those pretty actor faces.
And as an added feature, they had to compete in slow motion, which unsurprisingly, Harold proves to be quite good at.
How does he do that?
Yeah, he has a lot of experience getting hit.
Oh, don't eat it! Block it! My boyfriend is going to be so surprised to hear from me. What if... Oh my glory!
Remember this, I'll have a tangent on it later.
That clip sums up my bookmark alert in a nutshell.
It's nice to... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And the winner is Harold and the Screen Gaffer!
He knocked him out!
He scored a bunch of extra points for doing such great slow motion, and I had to dock you for biting.
Again, not gonna lie, I actually approve of this instance of Chris making up the rules as he goes. Partially because this is more fun, and Harold kept in the spirit of the competition, unlike Maggie Fitzgerald here. Hey, the episode is titled $1 Million Babies, why not just reference that?
This was fixed! Riff's going down!
Easy there, Tiger. Hey, it's a miniature tennis racket.
This is a badminton court, Justin.
There was never a sports movie about badminton.
I mean, there were some in Asia, but I'm willing to bet Mr. I'm moving to Canada, except I'm already there wouldn't count that.
There was a movie about badminton, and it starred the very talented me. I just want you to know, you guys are the best darn badminton players I've had the pleasure of coaching. Show them it's not badminton, it's goodminton. Heck, it's greatminton.
This scene is hilarious and does explain why Jeff Probst's acting career amounts to him only ever playing himself.
All right, fire represents life, yada, yada, yada. I'm late for my pedicure. Let's read the votes.
He does play himself well, though. What are y'all still doing here? Oh.
Battling for supremacy in our second round, Beth and Heather.
You can do it, Beth! Freak! It's alive!
It's stuffed with a squeaker served to Heather.
Woohoo! Bring it!
I'd say that equals out to Beth already losing, or at least 2 points going to Heather, but why bother demanding consistency on the rules from Chris now?
Your chances of winning are just about as real as your boyfriend.
I gotta give credit, Beth's ferocity in this scene is something I greatly admire, especially in keeping with the spirit of sports films.
We have a winner!
And when you pair that up with her last duel with Heather, this is honestly the best I've liked her in a while. And it's about to come crumbling down again.
You might have game, girl, but you still don't have a boyfriend.
You just resent me for being a champion baton twirler. Just like you resent everybody here.
Excuse me?
It's on the Total Drama website, Lashana. Everything you said about all of us when you went on that spa night.
Heather, just mean for the sake of being mean. Beth actually wears a side ponytail. And Harold, damn fool sweet on me, but he's getting about as much play as an old school cassette tape in a world of MP3s.
Oh, to count the things wrong with this scene. 1. That half elimination I said Courtney's PDA was responsible for, it's this one. Because literally, no one else would have known about this without that plot point, and it makes this entire scenario really contrived. 2. Ignoring how forced it is, I'd argue revealing footage like this within the game is a huge violation of the rule. There have been times in reality TV where revealing stuff like this completely tarnished the integrity of the game. Like in Big Brother 3, where Danielle Reyes, despite being one of the best players of all time in that show, got screwed out of a first place finish because the jurors were able to see her less than flattering diary room confessions.
Amy, I like cheese and more cheese.
Danielle, how honest were you in your diary room sessions?
My diary room sessions were honest. What you saw in the diary room was the real deal.
Lisa.
Lisa. Congratulations, Lisa. You are the winner of Big Brother 3.
3. Beth, you've got Courtney's PDA and you use it to shed a bad light on Lashana. But shouldn't you be using that PDA to show actual proof that Brady is real so it shut Lashana up about you fabricating him? I mean, you tried calling him in private so we know he legit is real, or else you'd make a big deal out of that.
My boyfriend is going to be so surprised to hear from me.
But that begs the question, given how much crap you're being given for this claim, why aren't you making a big deal about it? Like say, look, you don't believe my boyfriend is real, why don't you ask him yourself?
So, you have a boyfriend, huh? Prove it.
Sure.
But no, it makes much more sense to throw Lashana under the bus and just continue having people take your word for it, despite the evidence of Brady's existence having been at your fingertips. And 4, speaking of throwing Lashana under the bus, I thought you two were friends!
Girl, you crazy.
It just looked like a lot of fun when you did it.
Between this and Jeff egging on Gwen, the second aftermath, are the season 1 friendships just proving to have been complete horseshit? She helped you stand up to Heather, but because she mocked you for revealing a very unconvincing relationship, not helped by the fact that you kept flirting with Justin, as she pointed out.
You've been chasing after a boyfriend all this time? With a honey back home?
Sure, my boyfriend's a model, but he's still just a guy. Justin is a supermodel. Now that my braces are off, it's a whole new dating world.
Again, that doesn't help your case, but because of that, you decide Lashana should pay.
You might have game, girl, but you still don't have a boyfriend.
You just resent me for being a champion baton twirler, just like you resent everybody here.
Cozy Glow from My Little Pony executed friendship better than you.
Friendship isn't magic. Friendship is power.
For the wrong reasons, but still better than you. Now, with that being said, you could argue that Beth did this because she felt betrayed by everything Lashana said.
Lindsay has half a brain cell, max, and it's usually gone out shopping. Probably with Justin's giant ego. Duncan likes to think he's a bad boy. But when Courtney was there, she basically dragged him around by his eyebrow ring.
So, yeah, let's go over what Lashana said and why it makes no sense whatsoever for the cast or even the public to be offended by it.
Lashana just told it like it is. I don't see what the big deal is.
Okay, I'll rephrase that. If anyone out there is against Lashana, that's fine. Opinions are opinions. But I don't think the reasons why she gets hate for this really hold up. Apparently, Lashana talking shit behind the other contestants' backs is highly out of character, as that is something a villain would more likely do, and she's regarded as one of Total Drama's most heroic players.
I can't say anything bad about her, and I excel at saying bad things about people.
Okay, look. I'll concede that Lashana is definitely not a villain, but would someone categorized as a hero do things like this?
Ow. You need to learn a little thing called respect, turkey.
And yeah, the characters she did those things to were all villains, more or less. But if she did those things to literally any other contestant, she'd be totally thrashed. Except Katie and Sadie. I'd love to see them thrown off a cliff. But just because Lashana isn't 100% heroic, that doesn't make this behavior excusable, does it? I mean, I know Beth's telling Lashana down the river is her disregarding their friendship, but doesn't it mean the reverse is true too? Is Lashana a terrible person for saying those things about Beth and the other contestants for that matter? No. No, she isn't, because everything said in that limo has already been established, some of it by Lashana in the past.
Oh, Heather. Just mean for the sake of being mean.
Not only has she already said stuff like that about Heather, but she said worse things about her to her face.
Mall shopping, ponytail wearing, teen girl reading, peeking in high school prom queen.
But fine, whatever she said about Heather was going to be par for the course anyways. What else?
Lindsay has half a brain cell, max, and it's usually gone out shopping. Probably with Justin's giant ego.
And both of those are true too.
Did you say Tyler's here? Tyler is not in the game anymore. Oh, right. I must have a dental block about the whole thing.
Is there something I can do where I won't get grease on my epidermis? Hand modeling is one of the things that put me on the map.
I'm surrounded by loons.
Where?
Oh, I love Doc.
Anything else?
Duncan likes to think he's a bad boy. But when Courtney was there, she basically dragged him around by his eyebrow ring.
She's already told that to Duncan's face.
I think you talk a big game, but underneath, you're nothing but a big cream puff. I've got eyes. You've got it bad for Courtney.
But when Courtney was there, she basically dragged him around by his eyebrow ring.
Also, why is Courtney shocked by that? I thought she'd already seen the footage, at least that's the impression I got.
Let me see.
No!
Come on, Courtney. You know you wanna.
Only because I think you all have the right to know what she said.
Oh yeah, Courtney's only showing this footage because she thought they had a right to know. Hence why she's only now showing it despite this being her third episode back in the game. Yeah, you got found out, you frickin' brown nose. Anything else?
And Harold damn fool sweet on me, but he's getting about as much play as an old school cassette tape in a world of MP3s.
Okay, fine, there she could have been nicer. Even though this is not even directly to his face, so why would she bother? Also, again, this isn't the first time we've seen her friend zone Harold, so why is he only now getting the message?
I think we moved way too fast.
So you want to go behind the bushes and make out?
Did you not hear one word I said?
Honestly, the only insult she gives we haven't heard before was about Beth.
Beth actually wears a side ponytail. A side pony.
Is it wrong for me to side with Lashana on this one? I mean, minor OCD on my end, but I'm a fan of symmetry and side ponytails just throw everything off. And also haven't been a thing for 30 plus years, but that's beside the point. And there you have it. Those are all the hurtful things she said about the other contestants. And whether they crossed the line or not, they didn't, but either way, it officially puts her in everyone's bad graces. What the heck is the point of all this? I mean, last I checked, wasn't she already in everybody's bad graces?
Who said anything about crying? Lashana never cried.
You sure blubbered enough when a reward was on the line.
I'm sorry.
You know, the whole lie to get a reward thing? Are people just ignoring that she did that?
You're gonna pay for this, big, loud, and proud.
She's a bad, selfish person.
Well, I guess that was something that pissed only her team off and not everyone, but even then, why did the Grips need reasons to dislike Lashana? Her fate is currently in the Gaffer's hands. What difference does it make what the Grips think about her? Actually, I do know the answer to that one because I hadn't shown this yet, but she was just now gaining forgiveness for that spotlight.
We gotta push spiced up Chef like he's a football dummy?
I am not swapping sweat with an oversized jalapeno.
You're taking it for the team.
Gotta side with Lashana on this one. You're doing it.
Side with Lashana? Are they finally coming around? Sweet, sweet forgiveness?
So this second reveal was basically a one step forward, two steps back scenario. But since I've just established the redundancy of this second plotline, why didn't we just keep the first storyline and leave it at that? Were the writers so behind on the running time they had to pull a new storyline out of their asses? I haven't dedicated this much time in a review to one single aspect of the story since Masters of Disasters.
Yeah, isn't that alright? Psych! Lashana just told it like it is. I don't see what the big deal is. I do it all the time.
She called you mean and nasty.
I can live with that.
I knew it! Heather does like something about Lashana, or at least respects it about her. Both girls have now become infamous for saying things in private because of how hurtful they be in person. But Heather is showing that, when done to her, she can take exactly what she dishes out.
She called you mean and nasty.
I can live with that.
Two-faced, backstabbing, lying little...
Go jump in the piranha pool.
And because of that, it makes me respect her even more. Good sportsmanship, Heather. That reminds me, remember that bookmark alert I put in my review of 1 million bucks BC?
You stole my spa day. Do the crime, do the time.
So these clips raise the obvious question, why are you okay with this but not that? Both of the terrible things LaShawn did are well within your character too, so what's different about this situation? I mean, if you were able to excuse both, fine. If you were pissed off by both, also fine. But you can't have it be one of each, that's hypocritical. But despite that problem, I think I'm choosing to overlook that because...
LaShawn just told it like it is. I do it all the time.
She called you mean and nasty.
I can live with that.
You can? Thanks, girl.
I'm just a sucker for that cliche of two rivals, normally a hero and villain, spending a scene bonding despite knowing they're against each other.
Before the war started, I used to always visit my friend Kuzan, and he was from the Fire Nation, just like you. If we knew each other back then, do you think we could have been friends too?
And now, second seed Courtney will attempt to break the tie, competing in Greco-Roman wrestling with Duncan.
Whatever, it's another scene where Duncan will be battling each other, and the sexual tension between them enraptures me.
My heart can't be swayed by just any tattooed bad boy oozing danger out of every pore. I'm a fit and well-coiffed little package of pure competition.
Oh, she's a fit and well-coiffed little package, all right.
I wonder if she could tell I'm hard right now.
And to make this match more interesting...
Wait a second. I have to wrestle her in a kiddie ball pit?
How long since these things have been washed?
Never. We got them from a local carnival. A really cheap, skeevy one.
And for that, I give 2 points on the casualty counter. Because each of them have something in this pit go in their mouth. For Courtney, it's an unwashed ball.
Ew.
Check for measles later. And for Duncan, it's...
Ooh, the big bad diaper shark. Come on, tough man.
Wow, I knew Courtney played dirty, but I didn't think we were talking about that kind of dirty.
Oh, that's it. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Trent Gwen.
You know, Duncan, you just had a used diaper in your mouth. You know what would really throw Courtney off? If you kiss her on the lips. Yeah. That is no less disgusting than this. Speaking of total drama-rama...
What's under here anyway? A daycare center?
Watch, the next time Izzy returns to the game, it'll be through that ball pit. Am I talking about teenage Izzy or toddler Izzy?
That is an excellent question.
So Courtney wins after Duncan cries uncle. I don't blame him. Did you see what she did to Noah? And the Gaffers winning depends on the final match between the team's respective strongest players, Lashana and Justin. I call foul. In what freaking universe is Justin the strongest person on his team?
I'm not just another gorgeous face and abs.
I don't care how toned his ice tray abs are, he's still the laziest and, well, daintiest person on the entire show.
Ah, my precious cheekbones.
Which makes him easy competition for Lashana. Good, she could use it. Apparently.
Final face-off, a slam dunk competition. Points going to the most creative dunk.
Hey, keep watching. Whoa, hey.
I love that theme music, but I hate who it's being played for.
I call this the Justin Freezes the Gaffers Slam.
I'm not sure what I hate more about this scene. The fact that Justin is for once showing he's good at something like the hustler he is. The fact that we're apparently supposed to root for him over Lashana, yeah, not happening. Or just the female Grips' dolphin-like laughter that they repeat 3 times. I swear, I'm not just reusing the same clip over and over again. They seriously do that 3 times. It's annoying, it's condescending, and it makes me want to smack all the Grips. Which I'm not going to do because most of them are ladies. And yeah, when Justin steals Heather's wig to use in his dunk, that's totally okay.
See, that's just just telling it like it is, and then there's just being a big old jerk.
Again, I really like how the camaraderie between these two builds this episode. It's a little rushed, I'll admit. Other rivalries turned friendships in television usually take their time to build up. But with that said, I have no problem believing that these two now have each other's backs. And for that to happen, despite how many awful things they've done to each other, is really something. I call it a three-pointer. And speaking of three-pointers,
I call this the Lashana climbs to the top. Wham, bam, thank you, slam.
Point to Lashana and the Gapper.
I could put that next to Mushu getting trampled by Khan and Mulan 2 as clips I could watch for an eternity. So the teams are tied, and said tie will be broken by whichever team can create the best cheer for whoever they think deserves one.
Courtney, she's my pal. She loves her PDA and she's an organized gal. Lindsay and Justin might be dumb, but I'd be so proud if they call me their chum.
This is very impressive, actually. Oh, I don't mean the cheering, I mean LaShawna's foreshadowing.
Duncan and Beth, they're quite a pair. He's tough, she's goofy, but they both got flair.
Spoilers. Well, with LaShawna pulling off a pretty stellar or oracular cheer like that, the grips are pretty much done for.
We have the winners.
Objectively, this scene makes sense, but subjectively, I'd like to stab it. So why don't I? Dagger, meet dagged. Why does that music play every time I do that? So the grips win, most likely due to Courtney. I mean, how else would these guys get an idea that genius? As well as have a set of cardboard signs with a picture of Chris on them on hand. And it sends the gappers to the award ceremony, where LaShawna is likely the vote to go.
Lashana?
Yes?
Heads up!
Yes!
What? You voted me off?
Huh, how'd that happen?
I know Lashawna dissed us, but that cheer, well, she showed us she had heart, guts, grit, and a bounce that won't stop.
So, to clarify, despite LaShawna constantly trying to get these two to work together, they couldn't do it until she became the fracture in the alliance.
Once again, it's topsy-turvy day.
But yeah, remember how I said Courtney's PDA caused half an elimination this episode? This is what I meant. Because that moment should have been the final nail in the coffin for LaShawna, but I guess we're postponing that for later.
Heather, if it's worth anything, you can count me as a friend. Just don't tell anyone I said so.
The cameras are still on. Have you learned nothing this episode?
Hey, something to remember me by, and to wear next time your hair looks as bad as it does today.
It's tough love.
Yeah,
it's just a little tough love.
Heather takes her leave, and we cap the episode off with another heavily replayable moment.
Am I gonna knock Big Ol' Chef out with my killer uppercut? My leg! Find out next time here on Total Drama Action!
And that was $1 Million Babies, real mixed bag. But I guess it's worth more than one viewing. I'll admit, the stuff that's bad in it really does get under my skin, which is, again, the majority of characters piling on one fan favorite for reasons that aren't even that bad, especially in the context of reality TV. Beth and Justin, again, proving to be awful, and having a couple cringeworthy scenes in the shuffle didn't help matters either. But for all its faults, the stuff I do like about it, I think is very good. The creativity of the challenges, as well as the execution of them. A couple solid jokes, and yeah, just seeing LaShawn and Heather actually get on equal ground for once was something I liked seeing. I mean, it's not gonna last, obviously, and I do think that's for the better. Their best moments do come when they're clawing each other's eyes out. But to see it for a bit is more than I could ask for, especially since it does arguably balance the out-of-left-field hate LaShawna got. So, final verdict, this episode gets the same reaction as the ending of the first Rocky movie. Not technically a victory, not technically a defeat, but despite some painful moments, it definitely went the distance. But I guess if there is one downside I didn't cover, it's that Courtney's not at her best here.
Touch it again, Beth, and prepare to be served. In your face, Duncan! I think you all have the right to know what she said. Ooh, the big bad diaper shark. Come on, tough man.
But we can rebound from this. Rebound. Fitting choice of words. If they don't do anything next episode, that would make her look worse. But what are the odds of that happening? Son of a bat!